Hi, people. How are you? Good evening, everyone. Can I see some thumbs up symbols in the chat session so we can start up the session soon? Hi, people. How are you? So I'll wait for still 5 more minutes. Let everyone join. Like we are of 420 people right now. Let's hit 1K soon in 2 minutes. Let your friends know about this bootcamp has been started. Just remind them. I hope everyone had your dinner and ready with your books and pens. It's not an issue if you miss yesterday's session. There is a recording available in the channel which you have joined, that is TFUG Hyderabad. You can visit the channel and you can check the recording and note your points. Coming to your attendance, it will be shared at the middle or at the last, like, uh, so you can get the attendance too. So don't worry about it. Listen to the class and enjoy. Hope my screen is visible to everyone right now. So let's go. Can I see some symbols in the chat session, thumbs up symbols, and spam the chat session with your symbols, etc. Yes, start karo. Sure, sure. We'll be doing. So welcome back to the day 2 of Machine Learning Bootcamp. I hope you enjoyed the day 1 session and got to know how to peel the apple. Just kidding. So coming to today's collaboration, this bootcamp is brought to you by Google Developer Student Club in collaboration with TensorFlow User Group Hyderabad. So we have done with the day one, that is introduction to machine learning and TensorFlow. So now we are in the day two, and we are 4 more days, 5 more days to go. Coming to the day two, we will be learning about Python primer and understanding data with pandas and visualizing it. I hope everyone are excited. So we don't want to delay today too much. We'll just start off the session soon. So please remind your friends to join the session soon. People, can I know from which college you are all from? Could you please put it in your chat session? Mala Reddy, IIT Gundigal, IARE, MRECU, MBU, Patna, GC, Patna, Vignan Institute, Satyabama University, GMR Institute of Technology, MBU University, MLR Institute of Technology, SRBU. Nice, nice. St. Joseph Institute of Technology, Government Polytechnic, Mumbai. Wow, this bootcamp has reached all over the India, all the corners of India. IIT Gudlawaleru, Sairam College. Wow, so nice. Guys, we'll wait for still more 2 minutes. Please inform your friends and tell them to join the live. Rocky Bhai, you're from Stanford University. And one more thing I forgot to mention, I have seen many LinkedIn posts and Twitter posts that everyone posted about this boot camp. This got us to reach got us to reach a many more people saw this boot camp too. Uh, a special mentions to everyone who have mentioned it in the LinkedIn and Twitter. Guys, if you have any doubts regarding the bootcamp, you can ask in the comment section. Our team will be helping you out. I can see many spam texts in the comment section. Okay, guys, moving on to the session. We got to know today's agenda, that is Python primer and understanding data with pandas and visualizing it. Hello, people. So, you got to know what is the agenda over the day two session, that is Python primer and understanding data with pandas and visualizing it. So, I handed over the session to the speaker, Moinuddin, to carry on forward.
Okay, so how are you guys doing? Welcome to day two. I hope your energies are on next level. So, guys, spam something in the chat. We have got more than 1,000 comments, and of course, 700 plus people watching right now. So, just like we said, if you are new today, if you just registered, it's fine, no problem. Um, so today I'm not gonna bore you with apples, of course. So today it's all about code. Let me present my screen and let me start off. Okay. Somebody please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right. So, guys, welcome to the day two of Machine Learning Bootcamp. And today it is all going to be about understanding data with pandas. And before that, I'll give you a basic Python primer. Like before you paint something, we generally give a primer. So, today I'm also going to teach you Python, and then we'll understand data with pandas. And of course, we'll visualize some data because without data, our machine learning models are basically nothing. So, let's get started. So, before starting, guys, you need not install Python, you need not install any IDE, any software, everything. Just to streamline it for you guys, it'll be done in the browser itself. And please try to code along with me today. It's just code, no apples. So yeah, let's get started, guys. How about we put some apples in the chat, because it's just code today, not apples. All right, let's move on. So section 1, Python primer. So, guys, basically, how many of you know Python? Before we start, how many of you are uh, like familiar with Python? Can I see a quick show of hands, or a yes or a no? Also, guys, people who are asking what's with apples, why are you telling apples, you should have seen yesterday's session. So a lot of people who are like, yeah, it's a secret, go see yesterday's session and you'll get to know. All right, guys, so whoever knows Python, just give a good raise of hand. We'll revise some basics of data types and functions, so that others, for others, it could be a bit easier. So what we'll do is, firstly, revise some basics. Firstly, I'll take you through data types, then through functions, then we'll discuss what are classes. So after classes, what we'll do is we'll dive in and see some code, and basically we'll try to code something, we'll try to make something. And after that, I'll give you one assignment which would help you out to for tomorrow's session. So basically, today it's all about Python and data visualization. So guys, let's move ahead. Before we start, every programming language has basic these sort of things: data types, functions, and classes. So these three things are enough. Basically, data types, functions, and classes are more than enough for this boot camp. So for doing much better projects and all, you might need to know a lot of concepts, like maybe oops concept and solid principles. Maybe a lot of you have object oriented programming in your college as well, right? How many of you have already got an idea on what uh, object oriented programming is? So guys, give a thumbs up in the chat. Okay, so there is a very interesting person who's giving a thumbs up. So then, okay, some people are saying no. All right, guys. So no problem. Today, the very reason we are having a very basic session is because people who don't know, they can of course learn, and people who know, they can still of course revise. So for the first 2 days, which was yesterday and today, of course the pace of content delivery is going to be a bit slow for the beginners to cope up, and so on. We will dive into real time stuff. All right, so let's move ahead. Firstly, guys, let's start with data types. Like, basically, what are these things? What are actually data types? What are functions? What are classes? And what does these language mean? So basically, guys, data types not are nothing but some type of what do we say, the type of an element. Let's say I am a human, so my type is human. So you all are sitting before your screen. So screen is what basically a machine. So that the type of it is machine. So basically, data type is, just a minute, yep, data type is basically what do we say, the type of what kind of data is being fed. That's it, nothing more. So if I'm giving a number, it is of course a number. And if I'm giving a text, of course it's a text. And if I'm giving what do we say, an image, just like you see on the screen, of course it's an image. So that is what data type is. Before or else after we assign something, let's say if we write a piece of code and kind of trying to tell the machine that okay, this piece of code is of this type, then we need to explicitly specify that okay, this is of this type, because the machine of course needs to know that uh, what kind of data are we giving to it. So people who are asking in the chat about attendance, guys, attendance will be at the last, at the very last, exactly at maybe 9:50 or 9:45, so that you stay throughout the session. And attendance link will be active only for 30 minutes. So please be very active throughout the session, and of course at the end of the session. So yeah, moving ahead. So just like I said, guys, data types are basically the type of data. Suppose one is a number, so its type is a number. Then hello, as you can see, is a text, so the type of it is a text. Moving ahead, um, what are functions? So we came to know about data types. So guys, shall we see an example of a data type? Yes, how many of you say yes? All right, so let's do one thing. Let's quickly open code chef. So guys, if you really want to code along with me, please do. Just a minute, let me present both of my screens. All right, so guys, I hope you can see code chef. Yup, guys who cannot see code chef, I think you guys have to skip the video ahead, or maybe you are like lagging behind. So there's code chef. So guys, before you start, make sure you're on this link, codechef.com/ide. Let me uh, paste that in the chat. So yep, I'm pasting it in the chat. Please go to codechef.com/ide, and here there is a very specific IDE which allows us to kind of practice and run code. So IDE, where is it? Start learning. Not this one. Okay. So guys, once you are done with opening the IDE, please give me a thumbs up in the chat so that I can start doing something. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up in the chat. So some people are asking, can we use VS Code? Use whatever you want to do, but for this one session, Code Chef is more than enough. The reason why I don't want to use VS Code is because there are a lot of beginners who don't even know what VS Code is. So for that sort of people, let's continue in Code Chef as well. And guys, before you start, make sure you set this particular thing to Python 3. Let me zoom it a bit for you guys. So please set this to Python 3. Okay, guys. So basically, when we start with data types, let me tell you how Python takes data types. If I say a equals 1, of course, this is how we assign element. So let's say now a is an empty box, and in that empty box we are putting some value. So we are assigning some value to a. Now I've assigned it something called as 1, and I'll assign b equals 2, c equals 3, and I'll assign another variable called as my name equals coin, and then I'll assign another name. Let's say bootcamp name, ML bootcamp. All right, so this is how you basically assign values. And guys, please remember, in every programming language, whatever goes between double quotes or single quotes is called as a string, and all numbers are called as int if a number has, let's say, a period in between or a decimal point, let's say 1.5 and abcde and 3.6, something like that, then it's called as a double. So oops, let me write down a comment here and I'll tell you what is this. This is called as an int. So int basically stands for integer. Int basically, of course, it stands for integer. So this one, all of these are called as int. So here, this one which have what do we say, decimal values, these data types are called as float type. So type of this is float, and then everything that goes in between double quotes, quote unquote, is a string. And guys, not only in Python, in every programming language, everything that goes in between double quotes is a string. So now what we'll do is basically I'll try to teach you print method. What is a print method? Print method simply print something on the screen. Let's say if I want to print hello world, or why hello world, let's say hello ML bootcamp, and there is a run button here. When you run this, what happens is here, uh, the output says hello ML bootcamp. So guys, if you are following, just what do we say, leave a thumbs up in the chat. So the output like this, it says hello ML bootcamp. Moving ahead, so what now we'll try to do is try to print the type of these. So guys, in the chat, tell me, if I try to print the type of these things, what will be the type? Because I already told what is what. So when I try to print the type of it, what will come up? So I'll be waiting for your answers in the chat. Okay, so I can see a lot of things: int, float, and string. Okay, a lot of people are saying int, float. Some people are saying char, but char is not. basically used over here. So let's see what happens. So I will print first the type of A, then I'll print the type of D, then I'll print the type of my name. Right, so let's first simply take down these values. I'll simply print the type of A and then D and then my name. Guys, if you're coding along with me, uh, let me paste this piece of code in the chat so that you can copy paste and try it. So what I'll do is I'll paste this piece of code in the chat, like I'll spam it a few times. Okay. So once I run this thing and try to print it, let's see what the output will be. So, yup, the first one is an integer, the second one is a float, and third one is a string. So in Python, just like the output says, string is called as an str, as you can see. So guys, these were data types, and now I hope you have a very good idea of what data types are. So this is how you can kind of, what do we say, assign elements to variables in Python. So this is basically here, a is called as a variable, and when you assign some value to it, that variable has some value now, and later you can change its value, toggle its value. From a you can do like, what do we say, you can basically change its value, or maybe assign some different value to it. But the condition is it should be of the same type, and if you're changing the type, then also there are explicit functions using which you can also change the type. So moving ahead, this is like a very basic stuff. A lot of people might be thinking like, why is this guy like teaching a lot of basic stuff? Because there are a lot of people who don't even know this. So guys, for them, please be patient. We'll move ahead and do some real coding today itself. So yup, it's already 9:30. Let's get into some action. Let's learn about functions. So guys, moving ahead to functions. So basically, how many of you know what functions are before we start? Can you simply put it in the chat? What are functions? Anyone? Reusable code. Okay, that's one sort of a right answer. Any more answers? Any more answers? Any single one-liners? Block of code. All right, that's also right. A set of instructions. Set of instructions. Block of code. Okay, a lot of people are saying, can you please zoom your screen? Okay, I will. Repeated piece of code. Not exactly, but yeah. Alright guys, so let me tell you what a function is. A function basically is a set of commands that execute a specific task when they are called, and they usually take some data and return some data. That's it. Let's say that a function is going somewhere and bringing something. So that whole set of instruction is basically a function, and it starts at a point, ends at a point. So where it starts, wherever it is called. So as you can see, there is this one piece of code which I've written here called as make this word capitalized, and we are giving it something called as an input word, and inside curly braces we are writing capitalized word equals input word dot capitalize, and then we are returning something called as capitalized word. So basically what will happen here, let me give you a nice flow chart. Firstly, when this thing executes, it will expect an input called as input word, and when the user gives its input, what will happen is this dot capitalize function will run on it, and it will capitalize the whatever input word is given, and then it will be stored in this variable called as capitalized word. Just like we stored one inside a, two inside b, this particular value will be stored inside something called as capitalized word, and then it will be returned. So whenever we whenever like, what do we say, we try to print the result of it. Let's say make this word capitalized, and the input I'm giving is Dhoni. So The output will also be something which is exactly the input but capitalized. So a lot of people are saying it is not clear. If guys, please switch to 720p or 1080 in the settings if it is not clear. I think the max is 720 for better streaming quality. So I really don't know if it is a network or something. Please switch it to 720. So switching to 720 will do better. Indentation, I'll explain indentation and everything later, because this is like a very simple this thing, and there's also not, this is what do we say, there's also not that one, not, this is not Python, so this is like basic understanding of code. So there's actually some different thing, some very different syntax which which I myself came up with. So just to explain you guys, is there, this is not Python, so I'll explain how to write a function in Python as well. So guys, basically this is how functions are written: the name of the function, what it does, some inputs inside brackets, and then uh, what should be returned. So there is one person who has written a very nice function, are you a gamer by any chance? Wow. So guys, yeah, make this word capitalized, use of keyword. So yep, there are a lot of, there are a really lot of different comments going on in the chat. All right guys, so let's move ahead, let's try out a function in Python. So basically guys, how functions are written in Python are, it's not, it doesn't directly start with the function name. It starts with something called as def. So I'll remove these print statements, and then I'll try to write a function. So just like you guys were saying in the chat, where is def, where is def, why those curly braces are there. So I'll tell you how stuff works. In Python, we start the function by def and a colon. So basically, this is how a function is written. So right beside def, the name of the function goes. Like for example, here I'll say add two integers, and here I'll give the input followed by the colon. So this is how a function will be written. So in some programming language, this colon will be replaced by curly braces, but in Python we have got a colon. So inside this, what we'll do is we'll give input and input 1 basically, and input 2. Okay, so guys, the moment I press enter after this colon, as you can see, my cursor has moved a bit right. It is like from one tab space, and you can see a simple dotted line over here. I hope you can see this now. I think this one is better. Okay, for the people who are saying zoom it, zoom it, zoom it, I think this is the maximum I can zoom. So as you can see, the moment I press enter here, I got a dotted line and my cursor automatically moved here. So this is nothing but indentation. So this here in line number 12, the indentation was basically 0. And here the indentation is like one tab space. So whenever you start any function or any sort of loop or if else case, what compulsorily you need in Python and also most of the programming languages is indentation. So whatever code I write below this, for example, this does something, I'll commit route. So all of this code goes inside this, goes below this thing, which means all of this code is inside this very function. So this code is inside this function. Basically this code is like, what do we say, making this function its home, and whatever is inside this function, whatever instruction set is there, whatever code is there, will be returned only when, will be executed only when this function is called. So what we'll do is quickly, very quickly, as time is running up, we will try to do something. We will add input 1 plus input 2, and I'll call it result equals input 1 and input 2, and I'll simply print the result. That's it. So now what I'll do is, out of the function, I came out of the function. As you can see, my indentation went to left, and here I'm simply adding two integers, and I'll give 3 comma 4, and I'll try to run this. Yep, as you can see, 3 comma 4, 3 plus 4 is basically 7. So yep, we've got 7 in the output. So yeah, that is how functions go. And then moving ahead to classes. So this, guys, basically this is how function works, and you can do a lot of stuff. If I do minus over here, and I'll do 4 and something, like I'll take a big number, 10 4, and I return it again. I run it again. The answer is 6, as you can see. So guys, play around with functions, play around with integers. This is how you do it. So time is not letting me to go in much deep concepts of these, so we'll move ahead to classes. So guys, basically, just a minute. Yeah. So guys, basically class is nothing but, what do we say, a set of properties and methods. A class is basically like a car, just like you say. A class can extend objects, basically. Class is something that extends different kinds of objects, and what those objects have, they have like, what do we say, values to the properties of the class. For suppose the class is a car, the properties are like color, price, kilometers, model, and also how many wheels are there. So then when a class extends an object, the property gets some values, like the color becomes red, the price becomes 23000, and the kilometers, of course, and then the model. And I really don't know which model of Audi comes at 23,000. Okay, that may be dollars, fine. So not rupees. So that is how a class is. So for this, you need to learn object oriented programming. So please, I suggest you guys to go and check some concepts of object oriented programming before coming to tomorrow's class. So basically, these are how classes are. We write some class, extend an object out of it, and then we have some properties defined inside the class which can be reused again and again. So moving ahead, let's do some hands-on coding. Let's do some what do we say, basic functions and all, and we'll try to do it using Kaggle. So let me go to Kaggle first. Guys, how many of you know Kaggle? How many of you know what Kaggle is? Okay, so guys, whoever knows what Kaggle is, please log into Kaggle, and this is how it basically. This is how the UI is. When you don't register, you can simply sign in with Google. I'm trying to sign in with Google. I'll try to sign in, and then we'll do some data analytics. So guys, here we are. All right, perfect. So as you can see, this is how the UI of Kaggle is. And if you are not yet registered, please go register, because this is going to ask you a lot of questions. It will ask you for a name and all. So until you guys register, what I'll do is I'll create a new notebook, and I'll show you guys how what do we say, basically you're going to code in machine learning. So let's dive into our main topic, which is understanding data with pandas. So guys, as we all know, until you guys register, until you guys make an account on Kaggle, I'll go on with this topic. Once done, please put a thumbs up, or please done yes, registered on Kaggle, in the chat, so that I understand that you guys are already done. So yep, let's understand data with pandas. So basically, guys, just like we discussed yesterday, we saw a lot of apples and all. We came to know that without data, our machine learning model is not complete. So data is the key to ML. So guys, please note this down, or screenshot it, or better like better screenshot it. Machine, basically what happens is machine learning learns from a lot of examples, and that examples are nothing but data which is in a pattern. So what happens is when we feed large amount of data to a machine learning algorithm, it uh, gets trained and also find some patterns in it. So these patterns are used to make classifications, these patterns are used to get some insights out of the data, basically. So let's say that today a lot of people are attending this boot camp. Yesterday was some count and today was some count. If yesterday was higher and today is lower, we can draw a slant line and say that today it has dipped down. And so that is how basically we bring out a lot of, what do we say, insights out of data. So basically our machine learning algorithms learn from all of these, what do we say, patterns. So they are actually recognition engines basically which run on data. So that is the very reason why data is the main epicenter of it. And also when data comes in our hand, we should make sure it is quality data. So that is why I have mentioned this point, quality in, quality out. So as good as the quality is of the data which we feed, similarly it is directly proportional to the quality of our machine learning model. So basically what happens is, um, whenever you try to unlock your phone, if it does not recognize your face, which means it was not trained properly. So this is how, what do we say, quality matters, whatever data you feed to it. So that is why this point matters, that quality in, quality out, whatever data stays uh, stands good in terms of quality, serves a good machine learning model. So guys, move ahead let's move ahead and do some data analytics with um, pandas. So guys, here what we'll do is we'll go back to our Kaggle. So guys, if you are already registered on Kaggle, please open a new notebook and here try to write some name. Let's say learning pandas and data visualization. So I'll name it learning pandas and data visualization. So here guys, I'll be using one data set which I myself will create. So let me do one thing. As you can see here, you already got a basic sort of pre-written code where, just a minute, let me zoom it up for you guys. Yep. So as you can see here, the comments are written. This is Python 3 environment, comes with many helpful analytics libraries and all installed. So basically, we will be using pandas. So guys, what is pandas? Okay, do anyone know? Please put in the comments if you guys know what pandas are. Not the panda animal, the Python library, pandas. So guys, put it in the chat if you know what pandas are. Yes. Okay. PyLibrary for statistical analysis. Okay. Some people are calling package, some people are calling library. All right, great guys. So basically, why is it called as a library? So why this very name library was given? So guys, normally in college, what do we have our libraries, right? In colleges or somewhere outside, we have a library which contains a lot of books. And when we go to library, we pick only the book which we need. So basically, libraries are a collection of a lot of pre-written functions, just like books, which the user can use whenever needed. So basically, Pandas is that library which provides us pre-written functions for statistical analysis, uh, data, like all the operations which can be done on data. So that is what is Pandas. So guys, why we are importing Pandas as PD? So you might have a basic question: why are we importing as PD? Because wherever we want to call pandas, wherever we want to use it, we will use it something like this: pandas dot, let's say, read. So every time when we write pandas, it might take a lot of time and it might be a bit of pain. So we import it as PD and we can simply call it PD dot read. Still, pandas will work. So we are simply writing a different notation to it. So, and also guys, this library numpy is also very helpful. It also comes pre-written, and this is nothing but OS. This is not needed because usually this is pre-written code that comes with Kaggle, which I'll explain later. So If you can see, there's a plus icon over here right below file which says add a cell. So guys, basically cells are, what do we say, spaces where you can write code, where you can write, what do we say, code, and also markdown. Markdown is for text, and of course code cells are just to write code. So these basically accept Python code. So just like this, if I write a equals 1, of course it accepts a equals 1. And here if I print a, let me run this one first. So now this one has run, and it has uh, taken the value of a. Once it is executed, then we can run this. As you can see, this is running over here. Cell execution is queued. As you can see, the sort of this thing came, and now it is executed. So also a sort of tooltip, a ticker came saying that it is executed. Now if I run this, it prints 1. So this is how it goes, guys. So we use uh, these kind of cells to write some pieces of code. And why there are multiple cells? Because here you can do one operation, here you can do another operation for which will be followed by it. So unlike huge projects, when you are writing what to be machine learning notebooks, cells are very very useful. So guys, this is one cell where we are importing pandas, and there is for now just, what do we say, one use case of pandas for statistical analysis. So guys, what I'll do is, let's get started with pandas. So basically what I'll do, just a minute. I hope all of you can still see my screen. Guys, can somebody tell if you can see my screen, if it is visible? I just happen to switch tabs.
It's visible.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So let me, just a minute guys, I'm having a glitch. Okay, I got it, I'm back. So yeah, so what we'll do here is, firstly I'll try to write something called as data, and I'll make a sort of data frame. Basically, data frame is nothing but a collection of data. So normally what happens is, guys, when you have, let's say, uh, 4 or 5 numbers, let's say earlier what we took a equals 1. So here let's say I need a list of elements. So what I'll do is, I'll simply put it in square braces. And also guys, whatever programming language it is, whatever goes between square braces is a list. So here I have a list of numbers, and then I'll take something called as, just a minute, let me call it as marks. So I'll give it 10, I'll give it 15, 20, again 17, and then 18. Okay, so I'll call it marks, and then I'll call another data frame called as name. So basically, guys, these are also called as arrays. List of elements are also called as arrays, if you have uh, heard of it earlier or not. So in name, what I'll take is, um, let's say Alice, and Alice is a word, so it is a string. And then I'll take Augie. Wow. Okay. Then BG, and then let me take what else? Let me take some other name. Tony Stark. Done. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. So guys, normally here I took um, two arrays in which one has strings, one has integers. So now basically how to make a data frame out of it. Data frame is nothing but 2D data. So basically there are what do we say, rows and columns. This is just 1D data. The data is in just one direction. Now to make it 2D data, what we do is simply I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. I'll call it data frame. I'll paste it here, and right beside this I'll copy this and I'll paste this, and I'll put these things in curly braces. So this is how we basically try to understand and write 2D data. But guys, one thing is missing over here. So when you put them in curly braces, how does your machine understand that this value relates to this particular what do we say, name or something? So basically what we do is assign a key to it. So this is how maps work. So names, this is the key, and the value of names is this, and here the name is marks, and this is the value to it. So now we don't need this because we already have created our data frame in a map. So basically guys, anything that goes between curly braces is called as a map or an object. So here we go, we have made a data frame, and now what we'll do is we already imported pandas. We'll run this cell again, and what we'll do is pd dot let's first do df dot head and see how this looks like. Oops. Data frame dot head. So guys, what head does is head simply prints the first elements of the like top elements of the data frame. So when we run this, whoops, has no attribute head. Okay, so this is not a data frame, it is a dictionary. So what I'll do is I'll say that df data frame. So that's basically a dictionary. Data frame equals pd dot data frame, and I'll assign my dictionary to the data frame. Done. So now this will become a data frame, a pandas data frame, on which we can do a lot of statistical things, and this error will now vanish. So boom, here you go. Now this basic object has now become 2D data. 2D data. As you can see, guys, there's one direction and there's another direction. So basically here we have rows and columns. अरे यार गलती से मोदी जी को कम नंबर दे दिए. Let's bring Modi ji over here. Full marks always. So let me run it again. As you can see here, yep, Modi ji ko full number mil gaye. Then, so guys, this is how basically you make data frames and handle 2D data in pandas. But this is just the beginning of it. We have just made a data frame. How about doing operations on that? So what shall we do is, let's do one thing. Let's remove one column and simply access one column. So what I'll do is I'll print data frame. I just need name, so I'll print data frame name. So guys, this is how you access something. So basically, let's say that I have a list of elements and I'm calling it list of numbers. List of numbers. And if I put square braces and I keep 0 to it, it accesses the first element. Of course, it starts from 0. The index starts from 0. The 0th index is the first number, as you can see here as well. The 0th index is the first what do we say, entry. So if list of numbers if I have accessed if I want to access the first element, I have to access 0. So here I want to access the column named name. So basically the column named name. So if I have to access it, I'm simply giving the exact name of it. So, oops, something's wrong. What does it say? Key error. Name. Okay. So it is not name, it is names. As you see, guys, it is names. So 100% the key should be unique. There can be multiple columns like these, hundreds of columns. So that is the reason why the key should be unique and it should be fed correctly. Now, as you can see, we got only one column that is names. So, yep, just like that, let us try to remove the first element. What I'll do is again print p dot. So now what I'll try to do is, if I have to remove one element from these, now let's say instead of 4 entries there are like 100 entries, what should I be doing? I should be running something called as locate. So pd dot loc means locate. So which one I'm trying to locate? The first one, so obviously 0. Okay, pandas does not, okay, sorry, not pd, df dot locate. So from the data frame we are locating something, and that is this. As you can see, Alice and 10. So the zeroth element is Alice and the value of it is 10. So just like that, even if you have 100 columns over here, the zeroth element, the zeroth row basically is uh, this one. So now what I'll do is try to access the third element. Yep, as you can see, SRK 17. So the third element is this. So this is how you access elements. So guys, that is for like what do we say, less number of data. So let's do it for more number of data. I'll take another 15 minutes extra. So till then, guys, you can fill up your attendance. I ask the volunteers, please do put the attendance thing in the chat so that these guys can fill up the attendance form and listen to the class as well. So we have just like seen the beginning of pandas. So a lot of people are asking what is df function. Df is nothing but a data frame. So we are converting a dictionary into a data frame so that we can do this thing over it, like data operations and all. Okay, so some people are saying not accepting responses. Guys, please open that. Okay, so I'll keep it very quick. Also, guys, please try to join a bit early because we have like wasted 15 minutes for other, like letting others to join. So if you start joining early, we can, what do we say, boost up the speed and all right, guys. So what I'll do is here, this is when there is very less data, which is like basically we are doing it. Let's say we have an excel sheet. If we have an excel sheet of, let's say, 100 or 1000 elements in it, what could we do? So we'll do something like that. What I'll do is I'll go to Kaggle. I'll grab something called as the recently I have seen a very nice data set called as Instagram followers. Instagram influencers, yep. So there is this data set over here. Hmm. Let me check out the data set. Okay, this is private. So I'll check out the data set and I'll also provide the data set link in the chat box. Whoops. Followers. Assets. Yeah, top Instagram followers. So this is now clean data. So guys, we'll be using this data to do some analysis. I'll uh, share the link of this. Okay. Sport as metadata. I think I cannot copy API command. That is fine. I think I cannot share it as a link. So what I'll do is I'll simply copy this and I'll paste it in the chat box. Guys, I'll be using this data set and I'll be doing some data analytics over it using pandas. So firstly, guys, we need to import this data, right, which is somewhere on the internet. So Kaggle gives us a very nice add-on called as add or else edit, where is it, import notebook. So what we can do is from a link itself we can import a notebook from anywhere on the internet. Whoops. Hmm. Okay, let me try importing it in some other way. Add input. Yep, here you go. So either you can import it or you can do this add input. As you can see here already, I have a recently viewed data set. I can simply click this plus symbol and add that. Okay, so I think that is already added. It's loading. Yup, done. So what I can do is I can copy this path from here, and as you can see, guys, this is a CSV. So guys, if you don't know what a CSV is, it is comma separated values. So as we said, it is a 2D data. It is rows and columns. So rows and columns are best, what do we say, fit in CSV. So it reduces a lot of space. It reduces a lot of space. If we have like a million values in a sheet, so if we put it in, what do we say, rows and columns, it will take a lot of space. So CSV is a better way to store it. So what I'll do is I'll simply run a command called as pd.read underscore CSV. So this is the command which will read our CSV file. So in quotes, I'll give the path and I'll call it instadata, instadf, instadata frame. So once it's run, I'll print CSV is ready to use. So let me run it and see. Yep, as you can see here, it printed CSV is ready to use. So guys, you might think this print statement anyways will execute. So it's not like that, where code executes line by line. If there's a problem in line 1, it won't go to line 2. So if this is properly executed, only then it will execute. So that's why I wrote a print statement over here. Moving ahead, what I'll do is simply do insta data, insta df dot head to check how the data is. Okay, so this is how the data is. Here we have something called as channel info, influencer score, posts, followers, likes, total likes, country. Then it is like wow, a lot of values, a lot of rows and columns. Unlike this thing. So let me also see how many total like what do we say rows we have, total entries we have. So for that, what I'll do is I'll do something called as instadf.info. So this will give me everything about it. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 200 rows. The range index says that it is 200 entries, 0 to 200. So 0 to 199. So total we have 200 entries. So just like this one, here we had only 4 and 2. So it is like it was 2 by 4. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around 10 columns and 200 rows. So this is actually very less data, guys. So even using pandas and in machine learning, we use much more data. So what I'll do is I'll try to clean it a bit, because here there is a lot of, what do we say, unnecessary columns which we don't need. We don't need 60-day engagement rate. We don't need new post average like. We don't need total likes. We don't even need the post count. We just need the score. We need followers and we need the country and we need the name. So also I don't need the rank. Also guys, if you are feeling like this is wrong data, I think this was last updated someone last year, I don't know, so that's why it might show some outdated stuff, but uh, later, as time progresses, it will of course surely update. So somebody saying it's 10:10 already. Of course, buddy, if you're getting late, you can leave, no problem. And please do not miss the attendance link later. A lot of people will be texting me saying that we missed it, so it will be open only for the next 40 minutes. Please fill it, and after 40 minutes we're going to close it. So, guys, as I was saying, let's do some what do we say, data analytics on it. Then we'll go for visualization. So, yep. So before this info, let me also do insta f dot shape to understand how the shape of the data is. Basically, just like you guys do matrices and all, tuple object is not callable. Okay, this is something interesting. So df dot shape, I think this is how I do it. Perfect. So yeah, generally guys, matrices are also 2D data. It is also what do we say, a mixture of row and column. So generally matrices are written in m by n format. So just like that, this is the shape of our current data frame, so which is also in 2D format, rows and columns. So basically we have 200 rows and across 10 columns. So by this we understand how our data is. So once we do some data analytics on it, we understand how to feed it to the machine learning algorithm and what exactly we can predict. So today what I'll do is, firstly I'll drop some columns and then I'll change some columns, and let's do some analysis. So before dropping and changing, let me directly what do we say, ask you guys to give some insight. So as you can see, let me do df.head 50 or maybe 100. All right, so yeah, let me do it, let me do 25. All right, perfect. So guys, after seeing this data, do you understand something? Do you see something in this? Do you, what do we say, feel something is like, what do we say, common, or what insight do you get out of this when you see this boring excel format of data? Please put it in the chat. Country, yes, Moon Animation said country. It is very right. As you can see, a lot of the top, what do we say, influencers are from the United States. So as you can see, there is a very common, what do we say, sort of factor, that is country. Common country is US, exactly. And also guys, there is also one very common thing which you guys missed, that the more popular the person is, the more are the, what do we say, average likes that person is getting. So as you can see here, on number 14 we have Taylor Swift, who has 2.4 million average likes. But here on top one, there is Kylie Jenner and Cristiano Ronaldo, who are like almost the same. So their followers are, what do we say, higher than Taylor Swift. That's the very reason their average likes are also that much. So this is how data is. This is how, what do we say, data acumen comes in. When you see some data and you bring up something in your mind, saying that okay, fine, this is what sort of, what do we say, this is how this sort of insight we can get from data. So moving ahead, let's do some analysis on this. So also guys, if you are asking where Virat Kohli is, here you go, he's on 16th. So this is of course outdated data. Maybe it was updated last year, or maybe somewhere in the middle of last year. So please don't worry about that. Maybe this person, whoever uploaded this data set, will surely come over with something better. So guys, moving ahead, as I said, data is the key to ML. So what we'll do further is now visualize data. So basically guys, when you saw the boring Excel sheet, you could have you could got only, what do we say, 2 to 3 insights out of it. So something like country, you got something like country, and I got something like, what do we say, average like count or something. So when it is nicely kept on a chart, or maybe visualized well in a very nice, what do we say, colorful format, that will give us more and more sort of, what do we say, insight on how data can be placed and what sort of decisions can be made through it. So guys, visualized data is basically used to do analysis, which helps in making some decisions. So let's say that my company is making loss since a year. So what I'll do is I'll do data analysis and to see where are the points I'm making loss. So using those points I can make some nice decision which could pump up the profit. So if just like I've here I've given an example, if everybody eats bread and jam in the morning and have coffee, we can use the data to boost up the sales of bread, jam and coffee. So I can start let's say that one at one sort of place a lot of people eat one sort of breakfast, I can go open a shop there based on this data. So data analytics is very very important in machine learning, and it is used to make a lot of very important decisions. Just like how you guys saw and how you guys understood that okay, a lot of influences are from one country or based out of one country. So just like that, uh, we can make some really nice, robust, and very important insights and decisions from what do we say, very nicely visualized and processed data. Moving ahead, so guys, uh, if you want, you can read this up. As you can see on the left, I have some nice pictures of how data is being visualized. As you can see, there are graphs, there are plots, there is a world map, and this is like very better way of viewing data because data analytics drive innovation. We collect a lot of data, and what do we say, all of these kind of different types of what do we say, data frames gives us different kind of what do we say, diverse insights and very diverse kind of information. Like do you remember how uh, dark theme was invented? Like around 5 or 7 years ago, there was nothing called as dark theme. As per my opinion, I think 7 years or 10 years ago, there was nothing called as dark theme. But there was one sort of analytics research where what do we say, one sort of point came up that a lot of people, when they use phone in the night, they reduce the brightness a lot. So somebody thought that okay, using this data, can't we come up with one sort of solution that okay, we can come up with one darker theme which does not allow the users to lessen the brightness and could be much comfortable for their eyes. So that is a very nice feature that came out of what do we say, data analytics. So there are many sort of those features, many sort of these sort of what do we say, breakthrough inventions, breakthrough products that came out by what do we say, insights that came from huge data analytics. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our Kaggle notebook and try doing some data analytics. For that, we need one library called as matplotlib dot pyplot. So I'm importing that as PLT because every time I cannot write this whole name, and then I'll use another thing called as seaborn, and I'll import it as SS. So guys, you can import it as anything, but these are general conventions. Wherever you go all over the world, these are like much used. So I can also import it as SBS. I can also call it SBI, but no problem. There is no problem in doing that, but there is some convention to follow it. There is what do we say, one sort of way of writing and maintaining code, so which is globally accepted. So that is where SNS and PLT comes. So we are importing matplotlib, so which is a kind of library which is used to help us doing the kind of all the what of plotting and what all kind of graphs, all kind of pie charts, all kind of data visualizations which you want to do. Of course, a lot of people are asking what is the use of seaborn. Of course, seaborn is also used to do data visualization, just like I told. It is used to make plots, graphs, line plots, charts, bar plots. So if you guys want, I'll also show the documentation of it. So let me just Google Seaborn, and here you go. Statistic data visualization. This is the documentation of it. And if I go to Matplot, here you go. This is the documentation of it. The moment you go to the websites of these, you see a lot of graphs, a lot of charts, which means these things are used to make data visualization. So we'll be using these to do some nice kind of data visualization and see what kind of insight can we bring from the existing data which we have. I'll run this so that these things get imported, and then what I'll try to do is, firstly, guys, a lot of you said that a lot of followers, I mean, a lot of influencers are from one particular country. So what we'll do is I'll take a variable called as country, and what I'll do is simply from the data frame I'll take the column country. So is it country or is it something else? It's country with a C small. Okay. So C small country. So here what I'll do is I'll simply take the value of it using value counts. So guys, value counts, just like the name says, what it does is, so it kind of takes all the common values at one place and see how many repetitions are there. Let's say now United States has occurred, let's say 10, 15 times. It will tell United States 10, this country this country this. So we are taking that only for country. If I have taken for any other column, it will give that one, that very column. So let me run this. Okay, another error. Country is not there, so it's not df, it is insta df. So guys, please be very 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 careful with names. Hmm, okay. Whoops, what's happening? Yep. So yeah, country has come. Now what I'll do is I'll simply print it off. Yep, as you can see, United States has come 66 times, which means 66 influencers are from United States who are in top 200, and from Brazil we have 13, and on third position is our proud country India, we have 12. So how about we plot this? How about we, if somebody asks me that how many are from this, if I show this thing they'll be bored. So how about I plot a very nice visualization. So for this, what I'll do is I'll take plt dot figure, which will allow me to do all the figure operations, and I'll take some figure size first. I'll take size of some, what do we say, 15 by 8. So 15 by 8 or 15 by 10 is 15 by 8 is fine. So guys, you need not do this one. I'm just doing it so that you guys can see properly. So then what I'll do is I'll give this plot a title. So I'm doing a plot. So I should also give it a title. I'll give it influencers on Instagram as per from nations. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll use seaborn. I'll use SNS and I'll do a count plot. So basically, count plot takes how much is the count, and by that it kind of iterates every single what do we say? Um, I'm not able to get the word. It iterates through every single of this value, and r- whatever what entry has that related value, that much plotting is kind of done. So what I'll do is simply do a count plot, and on the x-axis, what I'll do is I'll take df country. So on the x-axis, I'm taking country. So on the y-axis, definitely it will take count. So yeah, as you can see, guys, this is a bit a lot of overlap. So what we'll do is to remove this overlap, hmm, I'll simply do plt dot x ticks. So guys, these are called as ticks. These are called as tickers. So tickers on the x-axis, ticks on the x-axis should be rotated. Rotation equals 90 degrees. Done. So I think I don't need semicolons. I do a lot of programming languages. That's why it is okay. Perfect. So yeah, now it looks good. So guys, as you can see, let me zoom out a bit. As you can see, the highest number of influencers are from USA, and that's why this graph, instead of this boring data, this graph gives us more and more information and a better sort of information on how this thing is done. So guys, basically what we did here with Panda is called as EDA, exploratory data analysis, and here what we are doing is called as data visualization. So guys, there are a lot of projects on which you can simply do EDA and data analysis and still what do we say come up with a lot of insights. So there are huge data sets, huge data sets, from which what do we say, we can grab a lot of insights and make very nice plots. This is like a very simple version of it. So now what we'll do is, let's try to figure out who are the top 10 influencers. So I'll take top 10, I'll simply call it top 10. So I'll take insta df, and from that what I'll do is, hmm, I'll drop a few values. So guys, this basically is used to drop a few columns. So we need to mention what those columns are. So what I'll do is, I'll drop almost all the columns. I'll copy these. From that, I just need channel info, and then I need followers. So by followers, we'll try to take how who has the highest number of followers. So from that, instead of highest number of followers, what we'll do is, let's see who has the highest engagement rate. So yeah, let's see who has the highest engagement rate. How many of them are able to top 10 engagement rate? Okay, so I'll call it top 10 engagement rate. So till then, what I'll do is, I'll drop these columns. Whoops, I don't need rank. I need channel info. I don't need influencer score. I don't need posts. So I'll basically drop it. So these are the things which we are dropping. So I also don't need followers, I don't need average likes. The thing I need is 60-day engagement rate. So I'll put this one. Guys, the reason why I copy pasted is because you have to be very um just a minute. So okay, I need this, I don't need this, I don't need followers, I don't need average likes, I need this one. So I'll keep it as it is, and then new post like also I'll remove total likes, and then also country I'll remove that. Done. Something's wrong. Yeah, perfect. So these are the columns which will be dropped from the InstaDF, and it will be called as top 10 engagement rate. So here what I'll do is top 10, or else I'll just call it top 10 ER instead of calling it top 10 engagement rate, top 10 ER. So top 10 ER dot head when I do it. Okay, so now let's see how our data looks like. Oh wow, I got an error, which means are not found in the access. Okay, so what I need to do is, I need to also mention the access from, because our data also needs to know that from which access are we trying to remove it. Okay, perfect. Now this is how our data is. We just have channel info and the engagement rate. So perfect. I'll try to check 10 values. Okay, perfect. So, guys, from here, I think we'll try to figure out who has better engagement rate. So, I'll try to take another bar plot. Also, a lot of you are asking a lot of questions in the chat. I'll answer it at the last. A lot of people are asking a lot of questions. So, volunteers, please try to answer them if they are related to any general queries, or else I'll take them at the last. So Yep. So similarly, what I'll do is I'll copy paste the code which was here exactly, and I'll paste it here. And instead of this country, what I'll do is I'll put 60-day engagement rate. I'll copy this value and I'll put it here. And if I run this, whoops. Okay, this is horrible. So what I'll try to do is I'll change it. Hmm. Okay, so the reason is instadata.df was taken over here, so I forgot to change it. On x-axis, we don't need 60-day engagement rate. We need, hmm, or else let me do it. Instead of a count plot, let me do a line plot. Let me do a bar plot dot, whoops, sorry. Okay, guys who are asking questions in the chat, can you, if they are general queries, please skip it off. Other than that, I'll take it in the last. Okay, so I'll take a bar plot, and on the x-axis, what I'll do is on the x-axis, I'll take x equals hmm, top 10 underscore er, from that channel info, and on the y-axis, I'll take top 10 er 60-day engagement rate. Done. So now I think this will give us a better plot. Okay, another error. Neither x availables to be numeric. Okay, so our problem here is that here we need numeric data, but we got a kind of string data. So guys, this, like, I intentionally did this error. So what we need to give a bar plot is, on the x-axis there should be numbers, on the y-axis also there should be numbers, but here, as you can see our data, on x-axis there are strings, and on the y-axis there are what do we say, basically percentages. So that is why we got this error. So guys, I think it is almost 10:33, so I'll try to do this one thing and I'll try to close it. So yep, so instead of a bar plot, what we'll do is we'll use a pie chart. So plt dot figure, or else simply I'll do plt dot pie, and what I'll do is top 10 underscore er, may say I'll take CD engagement rate, and then what I'll do is labels. Pie chart has labels, so I'm assigning labels are near username, sorry, channel info. All right, so here there is another feature called as auto percentage. So just to avoid the error which I got earlier, what I'll do is I'll set auto percentage to 0.2 f. Sorry. So guys, earlier we used seaborn, and now here we are using matplotlib. So I just did plt.py to generate a pie chart, and I'm taking the first, what do we say, initial input as the 60-day engagement rate, and labels as channel info. So let's see if we get a pie out of it. No, we got an error. So here, could not convert string into float. So this is also string. Very interesting that this is a string. So what I'll do is I'll simply do it as dot as type. So I think as type float. This is how you can convert one type into other. So now let me try. Still, I think convert cannot convert string into float. So I really don't know why this person needs this into float. Okay, sorry. This channel info. Okay, here I need to convert it. Perfect. Another error, could not convert string into float. Pretty interesting. Really, really interesting why this is not able to convert this into a float, because this is a string. Okay, because might be it has percentile on the left. Understood. So what I'll do is basically, which means that we cannot use engagement rate. So what we'll do is we'll use followers. So instead of this here, I'll do 60-day engagement rate, and still followers will be there. So now that data set changes. Yeah, followers. So here I'll simply put followers. Okay, now the problem maybe because of this m. Earlier it was because of the percentile figure. Now it is because of the m. Understood. So now what I'll do is, how about we try to remove this m? If m exists, let me remove it. Hmm. So guys, somebody is telling in the chat that a day two attendance link is missing something something something. So somebody is telling split the value to string method. So guys, volunteers, if you're in the chat, please try to answer those questions or something else. So just a minute, guys, I'll be answering these questions in the chat itself. So okay, so I think the time is almost 10:40. We'll close it after doing this one pie chart, and then I'll give you some links for this thing, guys. Until then, what I'll do is I'll copy paste a link where you can learn Python for like almost absolutely free. So let me, the place, like I mean the sl- site is nothing but W3 schools, where you can learn this thing for like totally free. So please go through that. You can go through W3 schools, or also there are a lot of other websites where you can go and check it out. So what I'll do is, okay, there is another Python tutorial I would like to share with you guys. Just a minute. So yep. Guys, I've shared the Python tutorial with you guys. Please do check that out. So use a label encoder, convert to categorical data to numerical. Yes, I will do that. Just a minute. Before that, let me put this again. Guys, do check these two links out. If you really don't know what Python is, if you really don't know what pandas and all are, you can go through these links and check this thing out. So what I'll do is basically, just a minute. Also, guys, I've been changing a lot of tabs. Can someone tell me if still uh, my this thing is presenting? Screen is presenting. Can any of the volunteers quickly jump up inside and tell if that is still presenting?
No, no,
Yes.
the presentation got stopped.
Okay, the presentation got. Let me reshare that. Just a minute. Okay. Now I think is it presenting? Whoops.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, perfect. Now it will. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So guys, basically what I have is I have some sort of regex to convert these m's into uh just a minute, let me add a code cell and let me show you how this thing works. So if there is m, it is generally 1 million. So 1 million. So there's 1,000 and whoops, let me keep it as a string. And this is 1 million, I think. Yes, so this is 1 million. So and k means 1,000. So guys, what I'll do is I'll write some sort of algorithm which will uh, change this. So what I'll do is I'll call it converted data, converted followers equals n underscore ers, and there is just followers. Done. So converted followers equals this. So here what I am going to do is basically dot replace. I'm going to simply replace with some regex. So what that regex is, I'll try to paste it here. So replace regex will be something like this. So let me try to paste this thing from somewhere, or else let me type it. It'll be B for billion, and it will be nothing but E9 because it has 9 zeros. So again, a string. And then we have M, 6 zeros. So M will be having something around E6, and it'll be K, which will have something around 3 zeros. So E3. Right, done. So what I'll do is simply for percentage I'll leave it. So there is also percentage somewhere in the in the data frame. So I'll just simply do that. So I'll call this replace. Replace. So this is basically our um regex. So this is called as regular expression. So we are regularizing one expression to another one. So basically this is some sort of regex that we wrote, and what I'll do is I'll replace it with something called as replace, which points here. So if you highlight this, this also gets highlighted. So we are going to replace it with whatever we wrote, and I'll simply turn this value to true, which means this is yes regex, and I will convert all of these to float. All right, so now I think we will be having converted followers dot head. Of course, perfect. So we've got 475.8 exactly in this term. So what I'll do is now try to hmm, take converted followers on. Okay, let me do one thing. Converted followers equals this. All right, so here on the labels part, this is the thing. And here what I'll do is on the x-axis I'll take converted followers. Now here I'll get an error. Guys, tell me what that error will be. Whoops, something wrong. Okay, not this one. Yeah. Okay, I didn't get an error. So basically, guys, we got a very not so good looking pie chart. Not at all good looking pie chart. So what I'll do is I'll try to make it a bit beautiful. So firstly, plot size, of course, from earlier we had one plot size. So we'll try to increase the size of it so that these values look better. Okay, still not better. So I'll do instead of 15, I'll take double 30, instead of 8, I'll take 16. So double it. We'll have a huge picture now. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, in this not so good pie chart, we have got Cristiano Ronaldo as 0.2 f, which means I think this need not be taken. Let me remove this one. Where is this one? Auto percentage. Let me remove this. Oops. Okay, now it looks good. So as you can see, out of all of these followers, this one is the highest, which means Cristiano has like a lot of followers, which means 4.78 million. So now our main thing was to take top 10 ER engagement rate. So what I'll do is I'll have another data set for engagement rate called as converted engagement rate, converted ER, or else engagement rate. So here what I'll do is where is that engagement rate ka regex, lost it somewhere. Nope. Okay guys, so I think it's time is running out. It's already 10:50, so people are also dropping. So guys, let me get back to the presentation. So people are saying this is a pizza. All right, so it's going like a spiral. Yeah. E6, explain it in detail, sir. E6 means, guys, okay, let me explain you the regex. Let me copy paste that again. Where was it? Yep. So B stands for E9. E means like generally, guys, after 9 zeros, it's gonna hit error. So when it happens, usually in calculators, if you hit a lot of zeros, you get a E, right? So that has a whole different, what do we say, meaning in that per se. So billion usually has 9 zeros, so we take E9. Million has 6 zeros, so we take E6. K, thousand, has 3, so we take 3. So these are all called as regular expressions. So we are generally converting all these columns. So when we do this, whoops. Okay, fine. So guys, so this basically today was all about data visualization. So this was all about it. So today we were able to make some plots, do some adventure, figure out some errors, and of course it was a very wrenching day, and followers are of course dropping. So guys, what I'll do is, before leaving, please mark your attendance. Whoever stayed late, some of the volunteers, please do drop the attendance in the chat again, because these guys should not. They stayed very very late for a very long time. So please drop down. So yeah, I will give you an assignment. So intro to Python on Kaggle. So guys, your assignment for tomorrow is intro to Python on Kaggle. Go to Kaggle and I'll show you how to do it. So basically, when you go to Kaggle, there are a lot of um, things to learn. So guys, because you stayed at the last, you guys are getting something special. I'll tell you what it is. So when you go to learn, please make sure you are very very attentive here, just at this one place. So when you go to learn, there is something called as Python. Please click on that. So there are a few exercises in that. Once you complete this, you will be getting a sort of, what do we say, badge. So once you complete this course, which is like completely for free, you will be getting a badge which is LinkedIn shareable. So I'll share it in the chat. I'll also highlight it. So guys, this is a LinkedIn, what do we say, shareable badge ka assignment. So this one, please do complete it. Here also you get booleans, conditionals, strings, dictionaries, what all we worked on today will be displayed here. So guys, go to this link. Just because you guys stayed late, uh, I'm giving you this sort of resource to learn. So once you are done with this, you can, it'll be much easier to go through this boot camp. So that's it for today, guys. If you need any sort of thing, please do text in the like, please remember this group name, general discussion. Then there is another group called as doubts and questions. So please do not put it in uh, general discussion, put it in doubts and questions. Okay, so if you have a doubt, put it in doubts and questions, and in general discussion group you can like simply talk and all. So yep. So guys, tomorrow we'll be doing a regression model, and followed by day after tomorrow we'll be doing a, what do we say, this thing, categorization model. So classification, sorry, not classification. A lot of people are saying categorical data in the chat, so that word is like inscribed in my brain. So notebook link, yes, I'll put the notebook link in the main announcements group. So 160 people are watching. So for 160 people, um somebody's asking, is there any boot camps going on for Java microservices? I really don't know. So guys, tomorrow it'll be making a regression model, and then it will be making a classification model. So tomorrow ML is going to start. Today we are done with this thing and all. So the notebook for Kaggle will be shared in the group. So Richard, thanks for staying till late. The notebook, of course, I think a lot of people still did not join the group. So some of the volunteers, please also share the what do we say, WhatsApp group number two's link in the chat, so that whoever did not join can join. Will we make the models from scratch? Yes, I'll make one model from scratch and give one model for assignment. So tomorrow we have, let's start sharp at 9. Let's start sharp at 9, so that we don't get any what do we say, late sort of, like we don't get late like this. We'll start from scratch, and tomorrow I'll make sure it is streamlined. Can visualization change like a custom visualization? Yes. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, you can put. Getting too much errors. Link of that Kaggle notebook. Yes, we will give the link of that Kaggle notebook in the chat. So guys, I think I can take another 2-3 questions and we'll close. It is almost 11. Almost 11. What's the time? Yeah, 5 minutes to 11. So guys, here's the WhatsApp community link. Please do join it. There I'll share almost every single link, whatever has been given today. Notebook get weird with cells. Need to does that just a minute. Notebook get weird with cells does need import to run before the cells. No, actually, I understood your question. And Sai Sharan, I understood your question. You need not import every single time before you run a cell. You need to import in the topmost cell once, so that all the cells below which are executed are like, what do we say, having that what do we say, um have that reference of what do we say, that import. So once you import on the top, you need not import it again and again. So until the notebooks get restarted or the page gets refreshed, only then you need to import it again. So one person is saying getting many errors when importing data. If you asked about me, I intentionally did that error so that I could teach you. If you are getting errors, then I would love to help you to debug that. Please put a screenshot of that error in the WhatsApp community. There is a separate group for doubts and questions. Please do that. Kindly share the notebook link of Kaggle. Okay, let me share it. I already told that I will share it in the WhatsApp community, but let me share that again over here. So I'll openly share it. I'll keep it public. Okay. So yeah, done. Here you go. Richard, I shared the Kaggle link, notebook link in the chat box. Also, please join the WhatsApp community as well. Please join it so that we could, what do we say, give you all the resources at one place. So, guys, it's already night. I would like to ask our volunteers to take up and close the session for today. Somebody saying he's persistent. Yes, of course.
Thank you everyone for listening this long. I hope you join the next session too. Thanks for joining. Hope to see you all tomorrow at 9 p.m. sharp. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Have a very good night.